in terms of teaching projects, I'm an adjunct professor with Bentley's Natural and Applied Sciences. And obviously when COVID-19 really kicked off around, when was it, March time, especially in the US, when borders were shut. What we started to do from the teaching side is, particularly with the help of the faculty who were involved in mainly developing material, but we all had to work as a bit of a team. What we tried to do was redesign the second half of our teaching program. So what we start with normally is human genetics, how people make proteins, how our body functions. And what we typically then go on to is signaling. But we decided to flip this in midst of the pandemic, and we switched to trying to teach students more about different viruses, what they are, how they function, how they pass through society, where they come from, whether they come from animals. And then we wanted to look at vaccines, how are they made, epidemiology, how do things spread, what you should be looking for in the literature or when you're watching the news, what's important, why are all these numbers different, why are they talking about different things, and why does it seem so confusing? Well, because it is confusing and it's all very new science. And we just wanted to really quickly develop a course that would help people to understand why there are mixed messages and why people don't know everything yet. Because we're expected to, as PhD holders and medical doctors, expected to have the answers. But unfortunately, we are at the forefront of something novel in science, this COVID coronavirus. It's new to us. And back to vaccines, we've never made a vaccine so fast. You've heard it on the news. It's never happened before. Excited about continuing the teaching aspect because we've had a bit more time to think about it, to develop it. It was unfortunately very much made in response on a weekly basis. What can we do this week to talk about COVID-19? What can we do to make it interesting and relevant? Remaining sensitive, of course, to it being an ongoing pandemic, but how can we respond? And I'm excited to carry on doing that. I thought it was really meaningful and actually added quite a lot to the education, keeping it, I mean, we try to keep education as relevant as possible, but there's only so long you can keep people interested in genetics till they lose focus, and because you can't see it. But with coronavirus, it's in everybody's face, in their media, on their Facebook, Twitter, you name it, it's in our lives. And it's really easy to keep people engaged and get a lot of interaction in the class and keep interest high. So that's what I'm excited about. Teaching that again, that's a good thing. It might be nice to turn attention to kind of bring some of this kind of public related research and the teaching aspect that I'm involved with to actually kind of bring it together and maybe get involved outside of the university or along with the university to educate not just the students, but adults on the outside world, or perhaps as an extracurricular activity to allow people who don't necessarily take human biology to take a snippet course into what we're looking at, what we're thinking about from our kind of scientifically trained background, what we're analyzing, what we're thinking, why we believe what the scientists are reporting to us, why we trust them, and why we don't trust certain things as well. Just to try to really help kind of quash this quite heated debate at times that you see through the media.